Reddit, what do you need to get off your chest? I didn't talk to my best friend for a week before she committed suicide. I wasn't angry with her or anything. It was just after exams and we had a few days off of school. I have never been an on-screen communicator. And I was so certain that I would see her on our first day back to school. But now she's gone and I can't forgive myself for not sending her a quick hey on Facebook when I knew she would still reply. Look, I don't know if anyone else has responded to you, but please speak to someone. Your friend's suicide is in no way, shape or form your fault. But that guilt from feeling like it is can eat you alive. Ideally talk to a professional. But if not, talk to a friend, a school counselor or anyone. Just please reach out for support. I feel burned out. I don't have the motivation to do anything anymore. All I wanna do is sit around and play video games. At least you wanna play games, fam. I sit around downloading them and have 367 Steam games and won't commit to playing one longer than an hour because we'll get bored. I'm installing Watch Dogs 2 right now and no, I won't play it more than literally today. Nothing is fun anymore. I'm a young man and I've been a cop for 3 years now. And I can feel myself already developing PTSD. Decamping bodies. A frantic mother handing me their dead baby girl and pleading with me to revive her. Kids pulling triggers and destroying families to protect their bullshit notion of honor. I want to be a good man. I want to make a positive difference. But I'm quickly realizing I'm not Superman. I feel like I've been handed a mop and told to swab the streets as it's still raining. All the while, I'm being ridiculed because I'm using the wrong kind of mop or I missed a spot. That I have no true friends. I have people like me and people that are chill with me, but I have never had that connection of a best friend. I always think that someone is my best friend, but no one ever thinks of me as their best friend. I feel the same way. I have friends. And I have some good friends. But I haven't had a best friend since I was a kid. I really wish I did. And every once in a while I'll wonder why I don't. Is it something to do with me? Or is it normal to not? Do I have an unrealistic idea of what a best friend is? I've just completed my first day as a teacher and already I'm questioning my life choices. Everyone has a rough first day. Everyone. Especially teachers. It'll be difficult until you get into the swing of things. But it's worth it. You are making an impact in someone's life. Like my mom always told me, you won't feel comfortable at a job until you learn where the paper clips go. Double quote. It's a metaphor for getting muscle memory at a job you're unfamiliar with. It usually takes a month or two to learn where everything goes. A story to make you feel better. I love self-deprecating stories, so here goes mine. It was 1989 or 90 Hawaii and I was a DJ part-time with an ocean cruise company that would take about 150 tourists out into the ocean. Get them drunk. Have a live DJ play dance music. Serve dinner, then head back into port. I had only been working there about a month and was not a very good DJ, but I was very passionate about it. So this one day we get Ice Cube from NWA promoting his band's album Straight Outta Compton. My boss tells me I just have to play the song Gangsta Gangsta from their album midway through the night. The time comes, I put his album on and start playing the song. Not the 12 inches single, just the regular album cover. He is really into it and everyone is dancing and having a good time. Midway through the song he raps into the mic time for a breakdown and then points to me and makes the scratch gesture with his hand. Terrified, I lean over the turntables and tell him I'm new and I don't know how to do that. Seemingly amazed, Ice Cube looks at me pathetically and starts shaking his head. He never looked at or spoke to me again. I wish my so would talk to me more without any prompt or reason. Egg needs to ask me something. He does start to do this more after I tell him. But then he stops again. We're in a long distance relationship. And we communicate well. But after telling him this a couple of times already, I feel like I should just accept that that is the way he is. I love him. He's also my best friend. But I sometimes wonder if I miss him more than he misses me. Or perhaps just thinks of me less. Sounds like some typical introvert behavior. I can go pretty long stretches of time without initiating with people that I feel very close to and love very much. Especially if there's distance involved. Not saying that's definitely what's going on. But it's a possibility. You could try doing the same thing separately to give you a subject to talk about together. Like watch the same movie while Skyping, or both read a book and talk about it after every couple of chapters. Sometimes it can feel intimidating for some people to come up with something to talk about out of the blue. My fiance's kids are rotten pieces of shit. We try to set rules in the household, but cry their asses off if they disobey and are grounded from video games. No manners. No respect. I love my fiance, but her kids I could do without. They're 13 and 14. By the way. Probably too late for anyone to read this, but here goes. That no matter how much I love my kids, I don't love my wife. The only reason I'm still with her is because I couldn't bear only seeing my kids on weekends. Your kids are going to realize this. Source. My dad stayed in a shitty marriage with my mother for way too long. My childhood sucked because of it. Straight. Married dude. Becoming obsessed with makeup and women's fashion. No idea how if to tell the wife or anyone. Don't really have opportunities to try cross-dressing, but super often want to. Every woman I meet I can't help but study her makeup and outfit. Wife wouldn't get upset at me if she found out. She'd just be super weirded out and probably think it is really silly. Most cross-dressers are straight guys. They just don't tell anybody. Who wouldn't want to try out women's fabulous soft silky clothes, fun makeup, and perfumes? I would just suggest buy stuff for yourself because women tend to get pissed off if their clothes get all stretched out. Shit's expensive. My 21-year-old son is now my 21-year-old daughter. Most days I can deal with this and be happy for her new happiness. But sometimes I just can't. My mom has dementia, caused by high doses of codeine and morphine, which is a whole nother set of issues. She cannot seem to remember to call my child by her new name. My child lives there. I feed her 2 eggs a week to help my dad, who currently has an ulcer. I hate going over there when I used to enjoy it so much. I hate being at my house right now though because my 19-year-old nephew lives with us and he is an awful person. It's better since we locked the fridge. It just becomes too much for me. I haven't paid bills in 2 months. Fortunately, most is automatic. My husband is annoyed because I can barely get out of bed. I still go to work, but showers and cleaning are pretty much on the back burner to sleeping now. I hate this world and what I've made of it. The medication keeps me from being actively suicidal, but passively is a whole different story. My wife is 36 weeks pregnant, and I am terrified I won't be a good dad. I am trying to keep it cool and look as I'm really excited about it. But in reality, this is getting me. And the prospect of being responsible of a little human when I can't get my own shit together is just extremely terrifying. I'm going to give it to you straight. Every new dad felt like that before their child was born. You will feel completely lost, scared, out of your depths and feel like you are screwing up completely. Then after a while you'll get the hang of it. As long as you are present as much as possible, help out as much as you can and get over being grossed out, seriously you'll be dealing with more shit, piss and puke than ever before. You'll do fine. Being a good dad is really just about being there, not running away and showing love. The fact you are scared of being a bad dad shows you care enough to be a good dad. My sister died last night. She was my last relative. She was my whole world. She had a difficult life. I guess I'm glad she's not suffering anymore. But I feel like all the light has gone out of my life. Edit. She suffered a serious mental breakdown almost 10 years ago. I took care of her for years. She eventually ended up in an assisted living situation. She was my life. She went through hell, but I tried to be there for her. She had these bright eyes that would light up a room. I'll miss her forever. I regret putting her in the assisted living and moving away. I was slipping to a bad place and I wasn't able to help her anymore. It kills me. She wouldn't have wanted to die where she was. I wish she moved with me. And I myself haven't been well. I spent the yesterday in the hospital because of a seizure related to a frontal lobe and TB. I came home and slept to find a voicemail that said she never woke up. Life's a cruel mistress. Rest well, sister. The 30th of December 1985, the 20th of February 2017. I just wanna be held for once. I wanna be told that I'm gonna be fine. And that there are people who would accept me unconditionally. I just wanna feel loved by people who aren't my parents. Thank you everyone for the kind words. I realize it seems a bit callous towards my parents, but I didn't mean it that way. They're loving, but not exactly huggy people. So that's mainly why I mentioned them. Also, I had a bit of a moody morning. So that's kinda why there's a bit of romanticism and melodrama present in the original comment. I am afraid of doing what I want. I'm afraid I will fail. So I play video games, read forums, post on Reddit, browse online news, and avoid sleep to keep myself feeling too busy to draw, read, write, run, renovate. Do you ever lose on your video games? Probably. But you don't mind. Try viewing life like a game where if you don't manage to succeed in one area you move on and try another. Eventually you'll succeed. I had a friend who used to watch video games but wouldn't play for fear of losing. At least it isn't that bad. If I come to disconnect your gas or electricity or fit a money meter because you haven't paid, I'm not the bad guy. I try to help you, but even before I've knocked on your door, you've had visits, letters, warnings, an invitation to the court regarding your account, the works. Yet every day I get abuse and hate because I'm the face on your doorstep. I want to arrange an agreement. I understand financial hardship and I have so much information for you if you just listen or let me help you. You don't get free gas or electric. That's not your right. GRR. Rant over. Phew. I'm clinging to my hope of finally publishing my novel one day and actually making some decent money. It'll be the time when my adult life finally begins. I'm turning 30 this year. And yes, I know it's unlikely that I'll actually have a decent career as a writer. But just imagining it keeps me going and is one of the reasons I haven't committed suicide. J.K. Rowling was 32 when she published the first Harry Potter book. There are great authors out there who publish nothing of significance until their 50s. Don't give up. That I've been spying on my controlling and abusive boyfriend while he's been out of town. He stayed out until early morning with a girl and then spent a night in alone with her. She leaves her 4 kids home alone sleeping so she can try to get my boyfriend to leave me and support her. He is using her for attention and doesn't want kids, let alone someone else's. He doesn't know I know and have been packing his things while he's been gone. She tells him he's amazing while he screams at me over the phone about how I'm not doing something his way. He's outwardly respectful and kind to everyone. Usually the life of the party. But at home he's manipulative and hateful. Constantly telling me nothing is good enough while never bothering to actually do anything himself. Relationships look different to the people inside of them. I'm worried I'm on my way to a lifetime of loneliness. I don't know how to make friends. I have 2 close friends. One lives a few hours away and the other is my twin. But literally no others. In over a year at my new job I have only made acquaintances. No friends. I feel so isolated from them. And I hardly have time for extracurricular activities. I'm signing up for rugby this spring. But I'm worried it will be exactly the same. Rugby acquaintances. Not friends. Whenever I climax during sex I always get a random memory from my childhood in my head. Nothing bad. Sometimes it's me skateboarding. Or a time when my friend bought me Jack in the Box. Or watching Malcolm in the Middle after school. I never told my girlfriend because she'd give me the "why aren't you thinking of me?" answer. I don't know why this happens and can't help it. Edit. Happy to see that more than one person has experienced something similar to this. I did have a very great childhood, so I'm not really complaining about the random memories. I didn't have anyone to say it to. Thanks Reddit. Still not over when my, at the time, famous YouTuber boss bitched me out in the lobby of our office for a mistake I made. Even after I asked if we could discuss it privately. At least 20 people, in a company of maybe 40, heard the whole thing. If I were your direct supervisor, you wouldn't have a f***ing job. Double quote. It kills my self-esteem every time I think about it. And makes me feel worthless. Even though I know it's not true. And then he gets to go on camera and talk about love and put on this act of being a nice, even-tempered, trustworthy personality. I hate how it happened months ago. I know his opinion shouldn't matter to me. Yet whenever I think about it, I shrink. I feel so small. I hate it. I suffer from maladaptive daydreaming. Kinda cliche. But I might also have this. I become so immersed in autopilot at work that I just create these elaborate stories in my head. They could be books. Then when I come back to reality I don't remember anything I've done. Hours could pass but it's like my eyes shut off. Like the movie screen in my head covers my brain. This is also a part of why I'm afraid to get my license. I am slowly coming to terms with the fact that I can't have a traditional relationship. I have people that I care about. But there really isn't one person that I can spend all of my time with. I value my solitude at times a bit too much. I get sick of people very quickly. And will sometimes hermit in my room for a few days at a time to reset. This girl that I'm seeing is suffering because of this issue. It's not that I don't care about her. I do. I just know that I can't commit the time that she needs because I don't like the grind of a relationship. It all stems from a relationship I had where I had to tell this woman everything I was planning on doing all the time for no reason at all. I never cheated. Monogamy isn't my issue. I just like to come and go as I please and not answer to anyone at all. And it doesn't lend well to tying down to someone for the long term. It's not even a sexual thing. I just really enjoy being on my own for long periods of time. I'm 19 and becoming financially independent because my family won't support me when I come out to them. Everyone is super impressed that I work 2 jobs and go to class full time. Secretly, I just want a mother to tell me everything is going to be okay. A mother here. Everything will be okay. I hope your family accepts you for who you are. And if they don't, well that's extremely unfortunate. The important thing is that you accept yourself. Which you appear to. So you are already in the right direction. Sending hugs. I deleted 2 numbers from my phone on Saturday night. One was an old friend I've known since I was 6, I'm 27 now. And the other was someone I lived with for 4 years and after college. They see each other all the time. But have not once reached out to me in over 3 years. One of them even got married. And I didn't even know. Of course. The other guy was at the wedding. But not me. Feels bad, man. I asked a girl to be my girlfriend and she said she'd think about it. And she sounded fairly hopeful. But it also has been a long 4-day weekend. Update. She said no. There was more. But we got cut off by some other people and I didn't get to hear what she said. But we talked and joked like normal the rest of the day. Hopefully this won't affect anything. Dear 8-year-old son. Stop f***ing whining, crying, moaning about every f***ing thing we ask you to do and every f***ing thing we make for dinner. With love. Mom and Dad. Sounds like he needs some context. Show him something shitty. Take him to a poor part of town. A crappy second-hand store. A child labor documentary. Even a zoo. Remind him how good he has it. Show him what other, less fortunate kids, people, animals have to use as toys. Where they sleep when it's raining or have to eat for dinner. If he wants the good things, provide him the opportunity to work for them. Life starts when life starts. Good luck. Close bracket. It's been a little over 7 months since my baby was born and my postpartum depression hasn't let up at all. He is an incredible difficult baby. He cries constantly. Always has and probably will continue to for at least a few more months. The only explanation to his constant crying is really bad separation anxiety, as he is otherwise perfectly healthy. He has never slept through the night, and some nights will even refuse to sleep. Because of all of this, I still have an extremely hard time bonding with him. And sometimes I find myself hating him on the nights he is absolutely out of control. I feel like the biggest piece of shit for feeling that way sometimes. I love him so very much. I honestly do. But he has been an absolute nightmare. And I honestly look forward to him growing out of this bullshit.